afternoon. How you is, as they say on, what is it, BET?
Since you mentioned that, the president said this morning the fake news media, the true enemy of the people, must stop. The open and obvious hostility, report the news accurately and fairly.
Oh, God, I can see in the camera. Friggin'. Hold on.
Can you state for the record which outlets that you...
I'm Italian. It's everywhere.
That you and the president regard as the enemy of the people?
Is this like a trick question? Are you kidding me? Which one? Let's name the ones that aren't. That would be much quicker, wouldn't it? Just to name a few: MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN. How about The View? It's like a horse stable. Jesus, Whoopi looks like a beanbag chair with dreads, doesn't she? What the hell does she know about anything? Even Fox, we keep hearing Fox is a right-wing network. There's plenty of people who hate Trump on Fox.
Would that include my outlet?
Does Don Lemon have to walk around at a gay nightclub in assless chaps and still have a gun on his hip? Yeah, dead silence. Just what I thought. Good to see you. Go f*** yourself.
Join Mug Club today for $89 annually, or try it mugless for $9 a month. You can sign up at louderwithcredit.com/mugclub for the entire catalog, including Nick DiPaolo, Brian Callen, Mr. Guns and Gear, and of course, Alex Jones, along with 100% more of this show.
Got to make up for yesterday.
Shut up! God, you ever hear of timing? I wanted a beat.
Sorry.
Get out! All right. Look. No, I'm just kidding. Here, hold on. Cut the Joe real quick because I did forget. All right, thank you very much. That's awesome. We're all running a little bit slow today because it's. Look, here's the thing. It's a slow news day if you don't live in Florida, and so I need to get that off my chest on the outset because our hearts go out to people, especially Rumble. They're in an area that's being hit really hard.
Really hard, yeah. And
unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that right now. We're going to see what we can do because we did a lot with Harvey locally when that happened in Texas. Mm-hmm. And of course, your support here at Mug Club will go to helping with some kind of relief. But right now, look, I can't go out there remember Celine Dion said after Katrina, she said, go out there and help them in a canoe. Well, this is a kayak. And unless you have a double, kayak, you're just going to do nothing. So I can't go out there in a kayak. But beyond that, it's a pretty slow news cycle. Outside of the fact that, I don't know if you know this, Kamala Harris is now 10 points down in the poly market. Changed just
10?
since yesterday.
Wow.
10. Almost 10.
Whoa.
Almost 10 points.
Man.
The only thing that changed is she spoke. Do you guys understand that? Do you guys understand how bad that is for her? It's a personal hell for her right now. So I want to take some time today to discuss at large the problem with feminist politics, the problem with this is the year of the, and it's more subtle than with Hillary Clinton, but it's, I would argue, more pervasive. Who's the worst Gates? It's Melinda. It's Melinda Gates. We're going to get into her allocating of $1 billion for abortion. Imagine being a woman who has all of the money that you didn't earn, all of the time because of money that you didn't earn, and you've decided that your pet project is to ensure that all women can kill their babies up until and including birth, period. That's your crusade. That's what we're going to be talking about. Also, Garth Brooks, I cannot stand him. To be clear, more of a Chris Gaines guy. He has been falsely accused of rape. I say allegedly, but I'll show you the text messages. Everyone remembers the story when it went viral. Have you seen the text messages? Have you seen the character assassination that's going on? And I can't stand him, but I really hope that we start developing a culture of at least standing in the pocket on our values for people we don't like. We did it with Aziz Ansari. We did it with people who were on the left before, and it needs to be done right now. It's going into hyperdrive. And you can't have fake rape accusations make page 1 and then the evidence that seems to be pretty much an exoneration be page 6. It's the year of the woman. And when I say this, I mean the year of the weak woman. Feminists are weak women. Melinda Gates, billionaire, sure, weak woman. It's not you. We're not talking about you. I think we're at the point now where you understand that we're speaking in generalities and about these specific women. And good women out there, do you think that do you think no vagina, no opinion, or would you like some guys to step in as allies here because you're not able to clean out your own ranks? Clean rank?
Clear out. Something ranks.
I think it's clear.
I don't know.
Thin the ranks.
Yeah.
So go with us. It's a concept episode, like a montage episode, like on Seinfeld or on. But this is real life. This is no Family Matters or Step by Step. Don't expect Patrick Duffy to be waltzing in here. So at some point today, you will see this. Head on over to Rumble. It's a weekday show, 10 a.m., including tomorrow for Mug Club members. Number 2, Captain Morgan, CEO. Very physically inflexible, we found out this morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm just saying it's impossible. We'll get to... No.
We were going back and forth.
It's impossible.
We're going to have a docuseries that'll be leading up to the election. You will see that when we were talking about the dynamics of the male-female relationship, the Me Too, and the fake rape accusations, Gerald was fixated on the physical mechanics of the position and it being impossible.
It is.
And he found out that he's the only one who can't do it.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Fused spine.
Yes.
Yep.
You and Jimmy Carter.
Have a fused spine.
And when you hear this, you know him, you love him. October 26th, Bricktown Comedy Club in Oklahoma City, one of the best clubs in the country. Josh Firestine, go out and support him. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I just want to tell Gerald, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's impossible or it doesn't exist.
That's exactly right.
Okay? And I'll show you after the show.
Seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. Mm-hmm. I've heard.
Yeah.
You need to get a little more adventurous, Gerald.
No, it's not.
You need to get a little more
Yeah.
adventurous because I know Miss Morgan and she deserves the best you have to offer.
And she gets it. I'm not a boob guy.
She gets...
Don't say that. You're limiting your potential. I'm trying to give you some saving grace here. Speaking of rape, what? This professor at the University of Kansas who now is apparently on leave. So this isn't necessarily a new clip, but some of you may have missed this. I want to touch on everything that this professor at the University of Kansas says is wrong. Warning, there's a death threat.
Guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems.
Must be the track coach, too.
It's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works.
Not you. You can't touch your toes.
Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Well, they did, and it's not been scratched. Oops. And everything that he just said is factually incorrect. This is the lazy straw manning you see from the left. I get it. It's funny. He's on leave. Okay, he's a moron. He kind of looks like an albino Fetterman. But there are some men who won't vote for a woman because they think that that guys are smarter than girls. Nope. That's not why. There are some men, and a lot of women, by the way, according to the polls, who are concerned about voting for someone completely unqualified solely because they are a woman. And yeah, I will tell you this. In general, men are probably concerned. We don't actually think that women are less intelligent than men. I don't know a single guy who thinks that. I know that most men believe that, as a general rule, women are more emotional and reactive, and we would be concerned of someone in a position of leadership reflexively responding in a way that could be a liability for the country. Hey, women, do you think that's completely unreasonable? It's not true that men won't vote for a woman because they think that we're smarter than them. And someone needs to tell them how the world works. That's also untrue.
Yeah, the world works by lining up your enemies and shooting them.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how the world works.
And I guess what he's saying is the world works by acknowledging that women are smarter than men. No. How the world works is men have led the world since the beginning of time up until now. You may not like it, but that's how the world works. Nothing that this professor has said is factually observable. And the part that's least offensive to me is the actual death threat. I don't care.
That's true.
I care that he's a moron.
But the world kind of works like you do something like that and you get put on paid leave.
Yes, you do.
I don't think that guy knows how to chamber around.
No,
That's
I don't.
probably true.
That guy gets manicures.
That guy gets winded giving a lecture. Do you hear him? He sounds like how fat guys talk. He's just sitting there. He's like, "No, line him up and shoot him."
Wait, did I just say that?
I need to take a breath between shots.
What is he shooting? Dessert shots? Line them up. I'll shoot. Key lime pie. Tiramisu.
Why would that be the most offensive thing, too? Like, if you're like looking at a list of crimes that a white male can commit, thinking that women aren't smart is not chief amongst them.
This is the
Not
thing.
even a thing, though.
Guys don't think that.
I wonder if he teaches like criminal law or whatever it's called.
You mean criminal law? or criminal or civil law?
Or whatever it's called.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well,
Or you nailed it, which is weird.
I'm not going to lie. When you said that, it stumped me for a second.
I know,
Wait,
me
what
too,
is the
me
term
too.
for criminal law?
I was like, oh no, how dumb do I sound right now?
It's the straw. It's the straw manning. It's the straw manning that they do. It's like, look, the reason they won't vote for women is because these dummies think that women are stupider than guys. But that's not true, though. If you want to address the concern that a lot of women have, and I would say a majority of men have, it's about the emotional response that we tend to see among most women, not all women in positions of leadership. That's a legitimate concern. If you want to say that that's stupid and present some data, that's one thing. But to say, well, you just think that women are stupid. I don't know a single man who thinks that women are stupid. I don't. I genuinely don't know a single guy who thinks that. And I've spent time with those in the red pill community who some of them genuinely hate women, but not because they're stupid.
Yeah, it's for other reasons.
Yeah.
Definitely other reasons.
Usually because they're too smart. It's
Yes,
like,
exactly.
she's too smart. She figured out all my things I'm doing, all my lies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let's split the difference here and just be honest about it. And why would anyone want to vote for Kamala Harris? By the way, she is stupid. She is stupider than most guys.
Yeah.
Not all women, but Kamala, yes. She's a dumb person. That's why the polls have her at a 10-point spread right now, because she's speaking too much. Gosh. But why would they vote for Kamala Harris when they could vote for this?
Fight for you. I didn't have to be here. I could be in a beautiful beach. I could be in a gorgeous beach somewhere in the world. There's sun beaming down on this beautiful body in a bathing suit.
That's right.
The sun would be beaming down. The waves would be crashing into my face.
Why?
Instead, I'm here with you in Pennsylvania, and I'd rather be doing that.
You can see the moment it dawned on him that, like, oh wait, this is going to be a real dump on Pennsylvania, unless I said, and I like it that way.
That's right. Why are the waves crashing into his face, though? That doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Because I'm
tide's
not
coming
afraid
in.
of sharks, bitch.
Yeah.
I go into the deep. I go all the way up to the face because I'm not afraid. Some people say you shouldn't, but did you know, Pennsylvania, you probably didn't know that most shark attacks occur in 3 feet of water or less. That's why I go deep.
It always goes deep.
Stop it.
All right, that's all.
Garth
I just love
Brooks,
that clip. Let's go to this hurricane going on. Of course, our hearts go out to everyone in Florida and the people, the good people of Rumble. We know that this is going to be it's really turning out to be a pretty rough one. Category 3, Milton. You wouldn't know it from the name.
No, Milton's not a very threatening name.
Yeah, mild Milton is what it sounds like.
Yeah, sounds like a neighbor.
Yeah,
Like,
they gotta
hey, I got some extra of the pork butt on the smoker if you want some.
Oh, that guy's so boring.
Thank you, Milton. You're boring,
Yeah,
but
thanks, I
I
guess.
prefer having you as a neighbor
Yeah.
as a potential.
They gotta have a scary name for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Hurricane Miguel.
that's not really scary.
Carlito.
No, you're right. Mike?
Hurricane
I'm sorry.
Merchant of Death.
That
That's
one
a
works.
good one. That's
Yeah,
a good
okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, it's actually really left millions of people without power and without basic resources.
Yeah, we're...
And the reason this is relevant now is because during the VP debate, they talked about the hurricane, obviously, Helene at that point. And
Helene.
what?
Helene.
Helene. It's okay.
Helene.
And then they pivoted right away to climate change.
Yeah.
So when you have the left saying, oh, people on the right, they're not willing to offer solutions. And well, hold on a second. You see what's happening. You see the destruction. Is it the government's job to hope and pray and wish that China will play ball with some international accord right now at this moment in time? Or help the people who you've sworn to serve? You're a public servant, right? Well, I think you know the answer. On MSNBC, they have people like Bill Nye, who basically says the quiet part out loud. So did Tim Walz, where they're talking about climate change and voting Kamala. That's the solution to hurricanes.
This is it, everybody. The other side, as we often call it, has no plans to address climate change, no plans for long-term dealing with these sorts of problems.
Neither does China.
If you have young voters out there, encourage them to vote. People say, what can I do about climate change? If we were talking about it, associating it with big storms like this, that would be really good. But the main thing is vote.
Okay. Well, hold on a second. There are people there who are dying and are without power. Maybe before they talk about some international accord where if everybody played ball, because everybody in every nation is inherently altruistic and certainly their leaders, maybe you could focus on getting them water, getting them energy. Maybe you could focus on helping your fellow citizen. This is the ultimate problem, right, with the leftists, is the government is the charity. This is why statistically they are not charitable people. They don't take, the left doesn't take it upon themselves to help their neighbors. The government does it. It's the Ebenezer Scrooge. Are there no prisons? Are there no poorhouses? Yeah, hold on. It's the Republicans' fault because even though they're far more charitable, you can read this in the book, Who Really Cares by Brooks. We've referenced it multiple times. The single biggest indicators of someone being charitable is their religion, namely, are they Christian? Their political affiliation, namely Republican. It's not their income level. It's not their geography. It's not the state they're in. If they're Christian, if they're conservative, they give more. Those people, Christian conservatives, I guarantee you are giving more personally to hurricane relief efforts. People like Bill Nye, he says the government needs to fix climate change. By the way, don't know if you know this, that Joe Biden was the least charitable public servant ever.
Gave used underwear, I think, one time.
He did.
Tidy whities.
Gave less than
Mild streaks.
0.1% to charity. Isn't it nice to have a worldview where as long as you support and you say the right things, echoing the sentiment that we need to have a giant centralized government who can be Santa Claus, it's not incumbent upon me to actually help my fellow man. That's why it's an evil ideology. Unless, of course, it's stepping in and performing an abortion, because that's the Lord's work.
I don't think
it's also tiresome.
The dark
It is.
Lord.
And by the way, why would you tie it to this hurricane? Why would you say climate change made this hurricane? Florida doesn't get hit by hurricanes that are strong. By the way, it was a Category 3 when it hit. We've never had a Category 3 hurricane hit Florida.
Well,
Is
it's
that
because you never let
we're
a good
saying?
crisis go to waste.
Right.
Yes, it's like you're just kind of aimlessly throwing it out there. And by the way, if you want climate change to be really addressed in this world and you think everything that you believe about it is true, do it in Mandarin. Doesn't matter if the rest of the world does everything you say. If it's not in Chinese, they won't have any impact at all, the policies that you're promoting. So until you start getting China on board, don't talk to me.
You're right. They keep bringing these climate change points up every time a hurricane hits. But if you look at their own sources, CBS News, they're online, cbsnews.com, they have a list. Top 25 worst hurricanes, most devastating hurricanes in U.S. history. The top 10 has 2 within the last 35 years.
Yeah,
2.
exactly. That's a good point.
And not even top 5. So it's like your own sources, your own mouths contradict yourselves every day.
Yeah. And this is their, it really is tiresome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amongst themselves at their cocktail parties, they get, did you see that I said that Donald Trump was a fascist and I said that climate change is a reason for the hurricane? Yeah, sir. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the sounds of death wails.
What do they sound like?
They're never pleasant.
Wailing! I thought you meant I thought you meant like an animal,
like a death whale,
like a whale of death.
Those aren't pleasant either.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what is that? An orca? Okay.
They death wail through sonar. These talking points, though, they're tired and they are nothing new.
Problem. Read all about it. See? Read it while it's spinning. Impromptu eye test. Are you drunk? Find out today.
You know, I do get a little cold in my hands and feet.
You do.
Maybe I should ban SUVs.
Yeah, that might help.
That'll fix it.
Cigars.
So, and by the way, people out there, but as we kind of figure out what it is that we can do, you can go to FloridaDisasterFund.org. That is the actual state disaster relief, and give what you can. Don't leave it just to talking heads to discuss climate change and think that, all right, we're good. I don't know if you know this, it has arguably no effect. Now, let's get to the issue here. A lot of you may not know because you're afraid of Bill Gates. You don't like him. He's weird. And there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that are not true about Bill Gates, but there are a lot of truths that are incredibly evil about Bill Gates, just to be clear about that. And I'm not going to have time to get into all of them. But you may not know that the ex-wife of Bill Gates is just as bad. Less qualified. She's contributed less to society or really anything as a whole, but still has a lot of money. And that's a recipe for damage. But before we get to that, let's foreshadow here a little bit. It's election year. And what does that mean? It means that the left, they have one issue where they think they can gain some momentum. No, it's not the economy. No, it's not inflation. No, it's not the border. No, it's not the state of democracy. It's abortion.
Let's talk about abortion.
6-week abortion ban.
Women's rights and abortion.
The issue of abortion rights.
Abortion. Abortion is one of her biggest issues.
On the issue of abortion.
Abortion shouldn't be an issue. Abortion.
Abortion is an important issue.
The fight is over abortion.
No, abortion rights is an economic issue.
Intersectionality of race and sex, gender is at the crux of this abortion issue.
You mispronounced cucks. I like to watch from the corner. It makes me feel alive.
Wow.
I like to watch Gerald Morgan fail at basic sexual positions that he believes are physically impossible.
In the scenario described, it's impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
If you believe,
you can achieve.
Nice. Nice rhyme.
The good Lord made your body and your hips to be flexible and adaptive.
My problem is with deltoid strength.
You are an affront to God.
We're taking a vote.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Boy, there are, by the way, I don't believe that liberals are stupid people. Just who they have as representatives right now. It's not a good bench.
Al Sharpton's a stupid person.
He's a very, very dumb person. I know what you're thinking. They're going to attack him and say it's because he's black. Come on, guys. Let's move beyond that. He's stupid, and his blackness has nothing to do with it. Al Sharpton is a moron.
Hey, he's just benefiting from an opportunity economy.
Yes, exactly.
When he sees an opportunity for money, he takes it.
That's exactly right. It's pronounced opportunity.
Okay, sorry.
Economy.
Sorry, honorable Reverend. Excuse me.
Yes. Honorable. So, Melinda Gates. Let's get into this. We're talking about abortion. Melinda Gates has now committed $1 billion of her ex-husband's money to promote abortion, and she's starting to allocate that right now. Non-made billionaire, Melinda Gates. So to give you an idea, and this is where we are, right? We're talking about the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. I understand the reason for some divorce laws out there. Hey, guy runs off with the secretary.
Right, yeah.
You've given all your time and energy. All right, you should be taken care of. You'd think that's maybe covered with a cap at like 50 million, maybe $1 billion. But Melinda Gates, who now has this money and is seeking to do irreparable damage here in the United States, she got $2.4 billion the same day the divorce was announced. Okay, she took $12.5 billion from Bill Gates, I guess she did from the foundation. She did the foundation then when she resigned from it. So her total net worth today is $29 billion. Wow. And to be clear, she dated someone after Bill Gates who was a teacher and broke up because he didn't make enough money. So,
is that why?
Well, she didn't know that going in. It's the only billionaire teacher out there.
Yeah. And you know what? It's dangerous. That's why you have a bunch of celebrities who don't understand how money works. It's not the same as business owners. A lot of them get their money because they were born gorgeous or they were born with a good voice and they've been successful since they were young. And so a lot of them, not saying it doesn't take hard work, but a lot of them feel guilty about it because they feel like there's a stroke of luck. Someone like Melinda Gates doesn't know what it takes to actually build something from the ground up. And I have no idea how often the filleting was taking place, but it certainly wasn't worth $29 billion. So she's now a single issue voter, this non-made billionaire, and it's abortion. This country is being held hostage by an extreme voice. And the worst part is this extreme faction of the left, the American public doesn't even recognize that they're extreme. People go, yeah, okay, I guess I'm pro-abortion. I guess these people are pro-life. No. The Democrat Party, the DNC, the platform, if you say I am a Democrat, right, You are a registered Democrat. You are running for that party platform. You have to run on a platform that says abortion all the way up to and including birth, period, no exceptions. There is no platform B. I think that's extreme. And I think that Melinda Gates giving $1 billion to ensure that states don't have the right to, I don't know, for example, instate a heartbeat bill or a first trimester limitation. I think it's evil. You can comment below. I don't know at what point you look behind you, see the pillars of salt and say, oh my God, we passed Sodom and Gomorrah. So here is Melinda Gates. Also, I believe this is her endorsing Kamala.
In this election, women's rights, our reproductive rights, are so fundamental. And there was a candidate that believed in them from the beginning, and there was a candidate who didn't and rolled them back. And when you look at issues like paid family medical leave that every other high-income country has, or you look at caregiving, I feel like Kamala, I was happy to endorse her. I've worked with her before. She knows what we need in society, and she's using her voice against those issues.
Well, you have paid work leave. It's called marrying a billionaire.
It's actually called divorcing a billionaire.
Yeah, and then fleecing the guy. And when she says, this is the big thing too, this is a feminist mindset. It's every other country, hold on a second, and you'll see this in relationships a lot. It's, well, yeah, every other country, for example, may have paid medical leave. Or they'll say every other country has some kind of socialized healthcare system. Okay. So you see the good of that country, but do you see the bad? What about the fact that they have 4 times the mortality rate for diseases like cancer or sometimes neurodegenerative conditions? What about the fact that they have no defenses of which to speak? They have no actual military that can protect the world, and that's why we have to spend the money so that we can protect Ukraine, because even all of NATO combined can't do it. They look at one portion and say, all these countries have this. And you say, yes, but none of those countries have. And then you can list hundreds of accolades and accomplishments that exist exclusively to America, including, by the way, the inventions that we create that then benefit the other countries of the world who subsidize said inventions and innovations. All of these countries have X, sure, but no other country has Y. Let's start with the First Amendment, freedom of speech. That's right, you hate it. The Second Amendment, oh, that's right, you hate it. Modern medical innovation, almost all of it comes from the United States. Oh, that's right, you hate it. Energy independence, freedom. It's the country where the most amount of people want in the history of mankind. So you look at one part of the equation and you don't take into account the other part. And you see that a lot with feminists in relationships. Well, I wanted a man who had X, Y, Z, but I wanted a man who was successful, who was wealthy, who was driven. But it turns out he's not soft and he's hard to live with. And my friends' husbands, they have guys who do whatever she asks, but they're doormats. I didn't want that. So I want a non-doormat, but I also want him to be a doormat when I need him to. I want a man who can make a lot of money, but I also want a man who's not that difficult to live with. I want a country that can provide me safety, freedom, security, but I also want free shit. You signed up for the deal, and then you choose not to honor it. That's the mindset that you see. And it's the reason that close to 40% of young men are never going to get married, because they feel as though it's an inequitable arrangement at this point. And then they look for proof, and they see Exhibit A, Melinda Gates.
Yeah, and by the way, she's even starting off her argument. Can you name for me the rollbacks that Donald Trump did on abortion?
Exactly.
Didn't do anything. He put justices on the court who then decided a case correctly. If you have a problem, go to the states. I don't know how many times this needs to be said.
Well, she also calls it reproductive rights when abortion is the exact opposite of reproduction.
Yes.
Right.
Is deproduction, actually.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's women's health. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I always think of women's health involving stirrups.
Can you get rid of the disease in my belly?
Yeah, exactly.
That's called a child, lady.
They see it as a parasite. And just don't be fooled by this idea that the left is pro-choice on anything. I'll get to that. They are anti-choice on every single issue except for the bad choices that you can make that turn your brain into mush. Like abortion, like drugs, like porn. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to partake. I'm saying that it's kind of odd that the only issues on which the left is radically pro-choice and they're willing to invest billions of dollars is to keep abortion and porn and free drugs alive. We'll get to that. But she sits there talking about this world. It's like she's just creating a dream job. Like, paid leave. You should be able to, like being a professional ice cream taster. This is the kind of thing. Well, that looks fun.
That's a child's dream.
She left Bill Gates to pursue her passion of being an elite puppy cuddler. Don't know if you know that.
Elite, huh?
It's not a thing.
Oh, that's well.
Why are they on a factory line? Oh my God!
That's Fauci's factory.
Oh, that's China. That's China. They're going to end up being a hamburger. We're fine.
We get last meals. They get last cuddles.
But it's got to be Melinda Gates. Kill me now.
That's how you kill them. Actually, they get suffocated.
What, you have $29 billion and I'm still eating kibbles and bits?
Yeah. By the way, hey, look, if you really are for paid family medical leave, whatever plans you have $29 billion with which to make it happen. Be the change you want to see.
$29 billion. She just can't fix her teeth. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
She chooses not to.
It's a time equation.
She's like a hockey player. She's going to finish out her season and get them fixed after. Only she's not doing it because she knows they'll get knocked out next game. She's doing it because, she knows the meth will take care of it. So
just you got to wait until they're really gone.
She wants to make sure people just like her because of her money.
Yes, exactly.
My character.
So this is one thing. She's spending $1 billion, allocating $1 billion for abortion. And just think about this for a second. The crusade that you're seeing from these people, Kamala Harris, and their biggest supporters like Melinda Gates, is we can't allow abortion to be given to the states. There can't be a limitation of a heartbeat. There can't be a limitation of only the first 2 trimesters, even though we've said that there are no late-term abortions taking place. We can't have it. I'm going to give $1 billion to ensure that that baby in your womb can die all the way up to day 8 months and 29 days. I know we're going by a general thing, but month 9, okay? That's your reason for being involved. Nothing else gets your ass off the couch.
How many kids does she have?
I don't know.
Do they?
I don't know.
Do the Gateses have kids?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know because I don't know if she had other relationships afterwards. With the teacher who she broke up with because he didn't make enough money.
Well, she's donated $1 million to her own abortions, so.
Yeah. So let's look at this. They say they're pro-choice. Let's look at the issues on which Democrats are pro-choice. Abortion, we know. But I've really kind of been mining this for a while, and I've only come up with 3. And it always involves the choices that are bad for you. Now, at least libertarians are consistent. And they say, well, you should be able to do whatever you want. Your body, your choice. And they sort of sidestep the science of abortion. And that's fine. I think we can have a rational discussion with those people. And I do think that people should not be locked up for partaking in weed. And that's not really happening because it's basically legal anywhere at this point. But I'm certainly not going to make my crusade ensuring that people can turn their brain into Swiss cheese. So let's compare where the left is pro-choice. And you please comment below the issues that we could give them some credit for actually being consistent with pro-choice. I've come up with 3. So choice, they are pro-choosing abortion, right? That's a big, we're pro-choice with abortion.
Reproductive freedom is an inviolable and inalienable right to all people.
Okay, so pro-choice, but so you should be able to choose an abortion. You should not be able to choose your vehicle, the vehicle that you drive. You look at the Green New Deal, they wanted to eliminate every single gas-powered car. And then you look at these quotas and you look at these limitations on SUVs, on bigger vehicles. Vehicles that are safe, vehicles that are comfortable for large families, the kind of families that you shouldn't have if you follow their depopulation policy. So yeah, you should be able to choose abortion. We'll use that term and not murder right now. You should not be able to choose the vehicle that you drive, that you purchase with your own money through a voluntary agreement with goods and services at your local dealer.
Yeah. But by the way, it's an inalienable right for all people except men. Sorry, AOC, you forgot that. Except for men who don't want their person to kill their child.
Let's look at the other issue where the left is very, very, very pro-choice. They are pro. They're very pro. And this is not even me saying that I disagree with it. Super pro-drug. You should be able to choose any drugs that you want to use. For proof, you can see what happens in Washington. It's legalizing, decriminalizing, but even more than that, normalizing. They'll even go so far as saying, wake and bake, just get medicated. But you should choose drugs. You shouldn't be able to choose the health care that you want. No, we got to make sure that we go to a public option, which effectively means one option, the government's option. Also, you shouldn't be able to choose if you get vaccinated. You shouldn't be able to choose if you're allowed to reopen your business. The government should be able to choose that. So we're pro-abortion, we're pro-drug, choosing those. We're anti-choosing your vehicle. We're anti-school choice. We're anti being able to choose your health care plan. You know, the kinds of things that you can actually choose yourself to positively affect the life of your family. Let me ask you this. Which choice affects your day-to-day and the ability to provide and protect and serve your family? Abortion or the health care plan for your family? Or the vehicle that you use for your family? Or choosing the school that your kids go to? How much is any of this pro-family, pro-society? I'm not saying that we should ban all the things we don't like, but I am talking about a worldview that is so pervasive. If you were to only look at the issues that the left decides all of a sudden matters as it relates to freedom and choice, it seems like they only choose the ones that would turn you into a zombie mush brain state. Let's look. They're very pro. Here's the next one. Very pro porn. And this comes, by the way, we can bring directly from Melinda Gates. Hands off my porn, right? That's part of her new crusade. Hands off my porn. Well, what do you have to worry about? But not school. So choose porn. School? No. We can't with school choice. That's absurd.
No.
We could, an intermediary step where instead of just giving money to one public school, let's make a voucher program where it's attached to the student. So even though it's publicly funded, they would have to compete for the dollar. Absolutely not. That is fascism. But the porn is good. Hey, I don't know if you know this, sex work is real work.
Just challenge everyone to have a dinner table conversation about it and talk about why it's important to you to take action to destigmatize sex work and help the fight for decriminalization.
It's not on me.
Let me give you a study. Let me give you a study that you will never see, that will never take place. And I will bet my life on the results if it was ever conducted. Follow people over the course of their life. Okay? If you could run this study and you follow one group of people who simply make the choices that are advocated by the left. So in one group, you have people who experiment either working in or using pornography their entire life, drugs because they're pro-choice, and have had multiple abortions. Okay, they do that and they go through the public school system, they go through Medicaid, Medicare. Okay, then the other option is Christian conservatives who don't have any abortions, who choose the vehicles that they want to drive, who get to choose the school, who avoid pornography, who avoid drugs, and see at the end of their lives who says, you know what, I lived right, I have no regrets. They'll never tell you that. If you follow this trail that the left is advocating for you under the guise of choice, you will have a miserable existence, a sad, lonely existence. You will look back on the ruin that your life has become and said, boy, why did I buy the lie?
Yeah. One person would have no regrets and the other one would have no regrets tattooed on them.
Yes.
With lots and lots of regrets, including the tattoo.
Yeah. Right. So this is hands off my porn. Hands off my porn is the campaign.
Hands off. It's not a Melinda Gates campaign. I don't think it's a campaign pushing for.
She was supporting it.
Yeah, supporting it
there.
Yeah,
Thank God she's not acting.
Yeah.
I mean, with those teeth, though.
That's the only OnlyFans account with $0 coming.
No, it's a very popular pornography category. Middling former housewife.
Yeah, just one subscriber. It's Bill Gates.
It's costing her money.
Come back to me, please.
So they have testimonials as hands off my porn campaign like this.
Oh, great.
This is from Little Puck. It's time to ditch the stigma and fight for real protections. We deserve not only safety, but some effing respect on our name.
Oh, really?
Really? Why?
Hold on. Did you see that picture? Did you see the picture? There's respect there? Nah.
Why? Because you have a tongue?
Respect?
No.
Look, I don't know if you know that respect, and by the way, people deserve the basic respect as all human beings do. That being said, you have basic respect, base level as a human being, right? Because we are all fearfully, wonderfully created by God, even porn stars. Everything else after that is earned. I don't know about you. That's what I teach my kids.
Yep.
I teach my kids. I have twins, boy, girl. And I teach them, look, you're not guilty of anything simply for being born a white male or white female, and you're not perfect because you're female in the air of the woman, and your virtue signaling doesn't matter. You are both born with a base level of value in the eyes of the Creator. Everything else is earned. It's your actions that define you, not what you say. That's what I teach them. If you think that's harsh, you're probably a leftist. But that's what I teach them. And we go, okay, how is the respect earned? Typically, respect is earned through doing something atypical, through doing something extraordinary. For example, creating or inventing something, or having a work ethic, or leading a group of people. Your community benefits from your leadership. Your family benefits. Doing the thing that all human beings have done since the beginning of time, but most people don't do on camera for money because they find it shameful, is not worthy of extra respect. I'm not saying that you're subhuman. I'm not saying you should be mistreated, but it doesn't meet the bar as far as worthy of respect. People you say, hey, show some respect. The man's a war hero. Right. Let's change it. Hey, show some respect. She has an OnlyFans.
Yeah. How about if you want respect on your name, first of all, why don't you start with your real name? Second of all, why don't you start with the actors in the film with you?
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen a porn where the guy's like, I respect you.
Yeah. And you know what else? I guarantee you those male porn stars never, and by the way, we know men are disgusting. We're animals. We think about it all the time. I know what you're thinking about. Hey, is someone in the studio right there thinking about it right now? I guarantee it's because of the topic at hand. But not one guy who's acted in porn has been sitting around at a banquet and some guy came up and said, hey man, I just want you to know, I really respect what you do, really admire it. But the difference is we know it. We know it. Men aren't going around saying respect and honor me because I screw on camera. It's only women who demand respect, and women meaning feminists, women who demand respect for things that are not wholly respectable. Hands off my porn, right, is the slogan.
It's crazy, these people. Little Puck.
Yeah.
What a name.
Yeah, all right. I thought you had a.
No, we have
thing there about
skipped over a quote. There was another quote right here. There you go. There.
Oh,
from Josh.
Oh, from Josh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Josh. Josh is quoting a hands off my porn campaign.
No.
Yeah, just read it.
It says, "You want my porn? I dare you to come and take it out of my cold, crusty yet supple hands. Then spank me and call me daddy." Josh.
No. Where did you guys get that?
I'm thinking you're a chameleon.
Article. So they can monitor the internet here?
Oh, Josh.
Oh, it's a requirement.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Also, you don't need to use your work phone for that.
No.
Like it would be less damning if you just use your personal phone.
I'm just trying to show respect.
Okay.
Yeah, put some respect on his name. And call him daddy for some reason.
But we think this whole country is being held hostage. And you know what'll happen too? Hey, by the way, what are the rates of ED now for like men under the age of 40 or 30? It's astronomical.
Dude, it's crazy how many Blue Chew commercials I get.
Research actually sent in under 30, 8%, and then 30 to 39, 11%.
Yeah, I've read numbers that are significantly higher now. Maybe intermittent ED, but it's all Blue Chew's advertisements.
It's everything I want.
If it was a small market, you wouldn't have advertisements for Viagra, Cialis, and Blue Chews with demographics of 20-year-olds. If you put me on Blue Chew, you'd have to raise the furniture like a Great Dane's tail.
I'm watching Inside Out 2 at the movie theater. They got a preview for Blue Chew before, and I'm like, how young are they trying to get these kids?
From the archetypes in the brain. Oh, that's sad. That's horny. I want to go.
There's a horn dog emotion.
I'm Blue Chewed up. Just pulling levers.
And then immediately just tired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freaking sleepy.
As a 25-year-old, my problem was I couldn't get it to go away.
Yes, I know.
I need the opposite of Blue Chew. What's the opposite of Blue Chew?
I don't know. Like an anti-aching coagulant? I have no idea.
Gerald needs one right now. A slide whistle? That's the anecdote. Okay.
Get me the sponsorship from the anti-vascularity drug. Like high-tension cable wires. Point is, porn is not, you have the right to, not good. And by the way, I'm not talking about I get that there are different levels to it and nudie mags. And look, we're Christian conservatives, but it's not lost on me that you and your loved one are sexting. I get it. There's a whole different world of consensual relationships monogamously. There's almost nothing there can be perverse. Okay, we're not prudes. I don't give a rat's ass. We're talking about an industry that is being marketed and pumped into the brains of young men, largely young men, whose brains have not developed yet to the point where they have had thousands of climaxes before they've experienced one sexual encounter in real life. And the rules that you're looking at, the regulations, for example, in Texas, require some kind of confirmation of age. You know, what we required for all pornography and cigarettes at gas stations when you used to have to buy them, or at the hotel when you'd have to do a pay-per-view. Now, that's an infringement upon your rights. But it's not to force you to pay for a school that you don't want to go to and to force you to send your child there. None of that. No, That's not a crime against humanity. It's not being able to access your scat pornography. And here's one thing, too. Melinda Gates, a big reason for this is she doesn't live in the real world. And I don't just mean that because she's rich. I know plenty of rich people who've earned it. She didn't earn this wealth. She still has to pay taxes like the rest of us, though she doesn't understand it.
How is that possible?
Yo, what's going on, man? What are you so stressed about?
Nothing.
I don't think that wand's gonna help. Would you accidentally saw another woman in half, trying to figure out how much the funeral's gonna cost? What?
I mean, it wasn't necessarily it.
Well, I mean, what's all this? Was this your Hogwarts homework?
No.
Gotta have potions in by Monday? What is this, dude?
I've already graduated.
Would you just find out Chris Angel's not a real angel or a magician?
Well, that's debatable. I mean,
I don't really think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, no. I mean, what I'm doing, I can't figure. I'm trying to do my taxes. I'm late again, and there's all these numbers. I feel like they're going to send me to prison.
Oh man, they're not going to do that. Look, check this out. Tax Network USA. That can help you, dude. They're magicians. They make your taxes disappear. Kinda. Well, no pun intended. I didn't mean to offend you, but
no harm, no foul.
But yeah, they can also do bookkeeping, and they can help you with your finances all through the year. So check that out, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they can help you deduct all your silly string and your rope you tie women up in your basement. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Appreciate it. It's
Yeah,
really
see you.
gonna help.
Oh, before I forget, promo code Crowder. When you go to tnusa.com, promo code Crowder, yeah, they'll hook you up. So.
Wow. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. Contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. You can call 1-800-245-6000 or visit tnusa.com/Crowder.
Yeah, for all you who actually work for a living. Everyone who works for a living, stand up. Melinda Gates, not so fast.
No. Not her.
Go to tnusa.com/Crowder. They have been incredibly helpful. Let's continue with this. The world being held hostage, America being held hostage. That's what this election represents. And a big part of it has been feminism. You may think that Me Too is over because, everyone's kind of tired of it. It's still happening. And I think it's important to stand in the pocket for people you don't like. And I don't think there's any more proof of that can be exhibited than today, where I am going to defend Garth Brooks.
You know you love low places.
I can't stand him. I don't like him. I think his music sucks, and he's phony. And I don't understand the Chris Gaines thing at all. That being said, this man doesn't. Let me say, it doesn't appear this man raped this woman that was front page everywhere. I don't know if he's raped anybody else, but have you seen the follow-up texts that have been presented by Jane Doe, the victim?
As evidence?
Of Garth Brooks as evidence? I'm going to get to this in a second. So we have this contingency holding people hostage, and they cannot be questioned. They are beyond any type of critical examination because, hey, they have tits. And that's not all women. It's just these women in particular. And bitches of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? So you guys can comment below. Garth Brooks. He was sued. Accused of sexual assault, battery. You probably saw this about 2 weeks ago. There was a follow-up that happened kind of this weekend and then came to a crescendo 2 days ago. But for some reason, people aren't covering it. And this is why I believe that false accusations of rape should be punished the exact same as rape.
A new lawsuit accuses country music star Garth Brooks of sexual assault and battery. The anonymous woman who filed the complaint says she worked as a hairstylist and makeup artist for the award-winning singer. Garth Brooks denies the allegations. He calls them extortion.
Yeah. So she worked as a makeup artist, right, for Brooks's, I guess, wife. What she accused him of doing was she went to his hotel room. He came out naked, and she says that he dangled her upside down by the ankles. And this is the position that Gerald had.
Just listen to that. I'm just saying.
She gives him dangling her upside down by the ankles and raping
her. Time out.
What part of that is physically impossible?
Okay. Dangling somebody upside down, I would be shocked if Garth Brooks at 62, in the pudgy form that he now manifests, could dangle anything upside down.
Yeah, but when he takes his super blue chew serum, he turns into Chris Gaines.
Yeah, but all the blood leaves those muscles and goes somewhere else. That's the whole point of the pill. I don't know if you've seen that priapism, 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's called a win, my friend.
It is. Especially if your doctor is female.
Don't judge a singer by his trucker body. That's what I always say.
Listen, it's like hanging somebody upside down and you're like, that could possibly happen. It's like somebody can do a handstand. How many times is somebody being hanged upside down by their ankles, being raped, saying, here, let me make this easier on your deltoids. I'll put my hands on the ground for you. Wouldn't you be squirming and not putting your hands on the ground? I guarantee you this didn't happen.
That's true. I would imagine that most rape victims pull like the kid move, where they just go limp and you can't carry them at all. They're not supporting you like a wrestler, where they're getting you over.
That one thing, I was like, that's physically impossible
I also
in that
feel
scenario.
the need to point out that it doesn't say that he was dangling her upside down by the ankles while raping her. It says and raping her.
Well, it does.
As a separate thing.
So that's just a form of foreplay.
No,
Yes.
no.
You know what I'm gonna do later?
No.
I'm gonna Suge Knight you. I'm gonna dangle you by your ankle.
You don't walk into court and bury the lead like rape you get to in 3 minutes, but he also dangled me upside down by my ankles and the blood rushed to my head. Oh, and later he raped me. No, that doesn't.
So
did the same thing happen with Vanilla Ice?
there was the rest of it too.
Shut up. Didn't
Look, you can talk about hypotheticals all day, Gerald, but let's try it.
Kamala doesn't deal in hypotheticals.
It's not possible.
Gerald never dated a gymnast.
That's
wheelbarrow
a willing
for you.
thing. That's willing. I'm saying in rape, I'm sure somebody's not putting their hands down. Let me help you with this.
You ever heard of chloroform, Gerald?
Oh,
She was trying to crawl away.
Yes.
Chloroform would make it worse.
Gerald knows.
We're getting off track, guys.
I'm right. Chat, you tell me what you
But
think
here's the
is
thing. So she was so rape. I don't like Garth Brooks. People they came out and said, "Oh, Garth Brooks the rapist."
Finally.
This is the problem with the court of public opinion. Believe very little of what you read and believe nothing that you read initially, and then very little of what you see and hear, unfortunately. So here's how some things didn't add up. This plaintiff continued working for Brooks after the incident, waited 5 years to file a suit, and there was no police report filed. But she said it's because she needed to make money. Okay, so you were dangled from your ankles, forcibly raped, but your priorities were to continue collecting a check.
When you could have got a huge check.
Right. And here's what we just saw this week. This person, the plaintiff, released text messages saying, this man forced me to sext him. First off, I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, how do you force
someone to sext you? Is it like the old LAN computer games where you're all connected in one room and he's like, say what you want to do to me. I don't understand how you force someone to sext you. I don't imagine that many rapists are forcing sexting. But she presented this evidence, and I had to read this 2 or 3 times to think, oh, this must be what he presented. No, she presented this, where she showed some sex, where she redacted a portion up there and then said, warm fact, this is her, and that huge stick you carry, Roosevelt. And he said, I'll take that nickname, thank you, I love you. Think about that. Do many rape victims give pet names to their rape victims, to their rapist's penis? Do you typically compliment the rapist's device? And does he respond with, oh, well, thank you, I received that compliment, and I love you? What are you going to tell me the next thing the rapist's going to come in and ask you how you feel about children? If you want to adopt? That alone, I go, oh, okay, nope.
No, that's...
Nope, because at the very least, we've now added a complication where there was not clearly consensual intimate relations. Well, why do you say that? Because you called us Dick Roosevelt.
She's got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Well, she's just calling balls and strikes.
I don't know. Well,
yeah, does that happen to any other rapists? Does any other rapist get their member nicknamed by their victim?
Only
Jeffrey Dahmer's victim, they knew him as Pookie. Casey's victims knew him as Giggles. Like, that's just Giggles.
They called Bill Cosby's dick the Puddin' Pop.
Yes, exactly. And of course, this is no surprise to us, but we expect more salacious details to be released on, by the way, the gold standard, Sirius XM Howard's 100.
Radio's bad boy is back on the air.
To me, the opposite of woke is being asleep.
Uncensored. Unfiltered, unpredictable.
You said I ate a whole bag of Doritos. Did you work out this morning?
Catch the Bad Boy of Radio weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern, only on Sirius XM Howard 100, the gold standard.
I am so old. I no longer had ratings. I wasn't funny. What's going on? What really is going on?
Join the Bad Boy Army.
I want to do that now.
No, you don't.
I do want to join the Bad Boy Army.
I want to be a bad boy.
Me too.
Howard Stern did everything disgusting and despicable, yet he never held somebody up by their ankles. Unfortunately, did anything.
I remember that show, actually.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair, Gerald. There are two people who could not hold a woman up by their ankles, you and Howard Stern.
Well, he was planning to, but it was the Anna Nicole episode where he made her get on a scale and said, never mind.
No.
It's a real thing that happened.
And this is not new. Like, people just think that Me Too is kind of over. No, Me Too came out so that it could sort of pave the way for a culture. For a culture where now we live in an era where people are guilty until they can prove their innocence. You have Garth Brooks, can't stand him, but the guy was accused of the worst crimes that you can imagine. And then what we obviously see as vindicating evidence presented by the plaintiff makes page 6.
Well, by the way, we didn't mention this in the story, but Garth had a chance to make this go away for millions of dollars. He says, for millions of dollars, I could have made this all go away. And he's like, no, screw that. I'm absolutely not going to say that I did something that I did not do. Now, again, like I'm not vouching for every single thing that he did in this, but so far from what we've seen, there's nothing really here. And he chose to go public with this in a way that, to defend himself instead of just paying millions of dollars.
And let me explain something to you. When I say hostage, having been behind the scenes with this, I can tell you, for example, Brian Callen was accused of rape. Right, that when he came on this show and he said, like, no, it didn't happen. This is exactly what happened. Went through the timeline. There were a lot of high-profile friends who didn't come in to at least even give him a platform to present his side. And the reason why is not because these people are rapists, but because they know that they're imperfect. And so what happens is people remain silent because they go, ooh, I don't want my misdeeds, my indiscretions to be made public. In other words, you may not be a rapist, but you may not want to come out and defend someone who you know is not a rapist because someone may have naked pictures of you. Someone may have you sexting someone who maybe you dated at some point and they were in love with you and you were in love with them. They may have a vendetta. You ever had to deal with an ex who was bitter? Well, just imagine that and add billions or millions of dollars into the mix. And so everyone remains quiet. For proof, see what's happening with P. Diddy. Hold on. No one else is coming out and saying, all right, okay, I was involved, or no one else is coming out and saying, look, he didn't do this. They're saying nothing. Why? Because people are afraid of skeletons in their closet. And sometimes they aren't even skeletons. That's the problem now. Skeletons are selective at this point. And so people remain quiet. And so our justice system gets perverted. And it's happened time and time again. I have spoken with people who actually believe some of these. You have people out there who still believe that Clarence Thomas is a rapist, or believe that Clarence Thomas sexually harassed somebody, or believe that Anita Hill was anything other than a liar, right? Remember, Anita Hill accused Clarence Thomas sexual harassment, inappropriate remarks about her body. They said that he was like a porn addict who would go down to this porn shop that didn't exist when he lived in that area of Washington, D.C. There are all kinds of things that didn't add up. And as it turned out, the worst thing that Clarence Thomas did was make a joke about someone's hair on a Diet Coke can, implying that it resembled a pubic hair. Is that worth the public lynching that he went through?
My goodness.
He said, who put their pube on the Diet Coke can? That's it. Remember Brett Kavanaugh? You still have people who believe that Brett Kavanaugh was a gang rapist.
Yep.
Remember Christine Blasey Ford came out? Also Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi supported her. This man was accused of gang raping a woman. And then it turns out that Christine Blasey Ford, her story she gave her therapist didn't match up with the story that was reported, I believe, by the Washington Post at the time. And that didn't match up with the authorities who investigated. And turned out the party didn't happen at a time that she mentioned in a place that couldn't possibly exist. Oh, and we also have a journal that was accurate to the letter from Brett Kavanaugh as to where and when he was engaging in any activities. And it also corroborated his story as it related to the night of the gang rape. But you still have people out there who believe that Brett Kavanaugh is a rapist because you see the hearings where they asked him if he drank beer on the weekends. And you saw the hearings of Clarence Thomas where they talked about sexual harassment. By the way, hey, I would even go further. Let's say Clarence Thomas said, nice rack. Is it inappropriate? Sure. Would it be worthy of being accused of a crime? No. And people are always going through the Rolodex. What have I done that is imperfect? Because that's what they're going to use. They go, well, maybe you didn't rape, but, and then present something that, exists in your private life. This happens all the time. I've seen it. Remember Trevor Bauer? You still have people out there who believe that Trevor Bauer actually choked a woman, beat her, giving her a black eye. Remember that? Mm-hmm. But then we found out that she didn't have a black eye and that she actually took a video of herself the morning after said rape, winking at the camera without a black eye and text saying, I'm going to take this man for all he's worth and I'm going to get that bag.
Well.
You have other people. Some people who I can't even... Aziz Ansari, right? I don't know what's happened to him. Mm-hmm. He's not a rapist. He had a bad date. Matt Ariza, Chris Hardwick, Johnny Depp. If it wasn't more salacious to cover the Johnny Depp follow-up trial, that man went through 7 years, I believe, where people believed he was an abusive drunk. And it turns out that he had a woman who was systematically abusing him and shitting in his bed.
Sorry. These are 3 men that were stars, too, by the way.
Yeah.
And left-leaning, all 3 of them, I believe.
Right.
Stars.
And you know what the penalty is for these?
And then just gone out of our lives.
Yeah. Penalty? Nothing whatsoever. Christine Blasey Ford, you say that thing about Brett Kavanaugh, and it's like, because we've covered all of that, we know that how stupid and ridiculous that is. I engaged with somebody yesterday on X about that. Yesterday! People are still out there about Brett Kavanaugh being a rapist after 9 FBI background checks, an extended investigation. It's like, you just can't win. Once it's out there, you're that guy forever. He has a family.
Right.
He has people in his circle that now look at him. Like, we always minimize that. We're like, oh, he's still a Supreme Court. He has kids who go to school and say, your daddy's a rapist.
Yeah.
And other kids aren't allowed to go to sleepovers at his house.
Right.
Yeah. Dad's like, well, it's all in the news. Your friend's dad's a rapist.
And the leftist...
I don't want him near the football games either.
Right. Yeah, and the leftist worldview, it has to implode because they've gone, well, hold on a second, maybe it wasn't rape. But hold on a second, maybe it wasn't sexual harassment. But it technically is rape, actually, and I support all of my sisters because that man was in a position of authority, and even though she was sexting him and she was actually throwing herself at him, he is technically a rapist because he was her superior. But I'm also pro-sex work. Oh, and most pornography directors and producers are men. Was that not a disparity of power? It can never be consistent. The only thing that is consistent about the left today is subverting systems that have created the Western civilization that you enjoy. Innocent until proven guilty, our justice system. They don't want that. The idea that family is important, that you will find happiness not in material things, but in life. Life, love, liberty, pursuit of happiness, families, children. No, we want you to be able to abort on demand. And we want you to be pro-pornography, pro-drug. Hey, you should probably live a life that's disciplined. You should probably live a life with routine, with structure. You should probably be someone who is virtuous, not because you want to go out there on social media and virtue signal, but because it's good for your own soul. You don't see the left advocating for these virtuous principles in the quiet time. In the quiet time when no one's looking, it's, porn, drugs, abortion, infidelity, orgies, as we see. And here's the crazy thing. The only place where you actually see this rape culture, the only place where you see this kind of degeneracy is the place that is saying it's the rest of the country's fault. Let me ask you this. Do you think you're going to see orgies, rape, sex parties, and porn shoots in Oklahoma, in the suburbs of Oklahoma or Texas or Kansas, or Hollywood, D.C. and New York? And these are the people who want to shape the entire country in this graven image that they have erected. And this graven image just involves more sacrifice at the altar of self. Let's distill this down to where we are. When people say you got to be careful as a man, you don't want to risk offending people. I'm done tiptoeing around, and I think we should be done tiptoeing around people who are sacrificing babies at the altar of self. I'm not talking about women who think that choice is an issue to vote on. I'm not talking about women who don't understand what abortion is. I'm not talking about those people who've been fooled, unfortunately, and it's our job to educate them. I'm talking about the party platform and the industries that say abortion up until 9 months, including birth period, and then enshrine it into law and fight it with all of their wealth, their ill-gotten gain, in Melinda Gates' case, billions of dollars to ensure that that is the kind of country we have. Oh, and by the way, only you men out there are going to be forced into the draft to protect the country, but you have no say in the kind of country that it is you will exclusively be forced to protect. This doesn't end well, and that's what's at stake in this election. And that's why we're gearing up for the election live stream of the century, November 5th, 2024, being able to call states, the live electoral integrity map, where you can actually see what is going on in real time so that this doesn't happen in darkness. Lie, cheat. Lie, cheat. That's what we see from the left. And by the way, it's exactly what you will see with this same road with pornography. You will see with drugs, right? Lie. Say, no, it's actually, if you look at Portugal, it's working out great. Legalizing drugs actually saves the government money. We generate tax revenue. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, actually. There's no addiction problem. There are actually no ill side effects. By the way, I think there are some medicinal uses, for example, cannabis, in very limited circumstances. I'm not anti-cannabis. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about telling people in a blanket statement that we should create a culture of drugs, of porn, and of silence out of fear from guilt that's being thrust upon you by the court of public opinion. That's the culture that one party has as their view of the ideal for this country. Let's be really clear about that. The culture is porn, drugs, abortion, sex work, and I stand with people who make accusations regardless of any evidence presented. And you know what that does? That destroys lives. It destroys families. And frankly, it destroys people's sense of right and wrong, a moral compass. Let's take a microcosm of that. COVID. Lie, cheat. We've seen that. That's why COVID is so effective. We saw it in real time. We saw one group of people saying, hey, hold on a second. We don't believe that 2 million people are going to die in these next couple of months. And we don't believe that we should be shutting down the economy. We actually believe that will have negative consequences really for an entire generation to come. You had one group of people, everyone in this room, saying, hold on a second, if you don't let kids go to school and if you fearmonger, they have to wear masks and they can't interact with human beings, you are going to see a mental health crisis. You are going to see substance abuse. You're going to see businesses close. You're going to see this country struggle. And then you had one other party say, nope, all of this has to be done through mandate. And trust me, this is good for you. Until they realize, you know what? None of that was true. So lie, cheat. What's the cheat there? Remove anyone who points it out. Lie, cheat. Absolutely, no doubt, wet market. China's on the up and up. They're giving us the true story. If you say lab leak theory, you will be removed. Then, okay, since we found out it's at least a 50-50 shot, let's just memory hole it. No, absolutely. mRNA has been tested extensively in humans. There are no anytime someone says there are no ill effects or side effects to anything on earth, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. You can't even say that about pizza. I mean, there's everything on earth has pros and cons. And you try and use your judgment to say, okay, does this have more pros than cons? Right? That's why we create pro and con lists. Anyone who tells you this is all pro, there are no cons, they're lying to you. And then when you have to deal with the actual consequences, they're just going to cheat and erase the whole board, pull an Etch-a-Sketch on that. And that's not what we do here, and that's why Garth Brooks, hey, can't stand the guy. I think your music sucks. I think your fake persona, Chris Gaines, was dumb. I think everything about it is disingenuous. But you know what, Mr. Brooks, I don't think you're a rapist, and largely because of the evidence that was presented by the rape victim. Let's continue Chat Thursday on Mug Club. But, I have another rape story. Let's continue.